The air between words. We believe the truth is held in the nouns, the verbs, the declarations, but the true energy of a conversation resides in the air between the words. Silence is not empty. It is a dense, pressurized container. Inside that container, we are often performing, calculating the safest response, measuring the social cost of the truth, auditing our own desires against the expected geometry of the room. We use words to disguise the profound, essential truth that is vibrating in the pause. The compliance program requires that you fill the silence with comfortable lies, with pleasant noise, with agreements you do not mean. And when we refuse to speak the necessary word, when we choose social peace over inner sovereignty, we lend the frequency of our own voice to the architecture of the compliance. The trap is not just the soul net after death. The trap is built daily, in the mundane moments when you surrender your voice to keep the external picture smooth. The silence expands, and in that space the subtext lives. The subtext is the weight of all the unsaid, the hidden judgment, the quiet resentment, the expectation you manage for someone else. It is the energy you exchange that happens entirely beneath the surface. This is where the self is actively fractured, when the word spoken conforms to the surface lie, but the air you feel, the truth in your gut, is screaming a different frequency. We call this tact, we call it politeness, but in the language of the soul, it is a subtle self-betrayal. It is an energetic leak draining the fire from your internal lantern. The longer you refuse to speak the disruptive truth, the more pressurized the air becomes, and the more heavily the weight of the lie settles back onto your shoulders. The only way to dismantle the lie is to introduce a new element, a word forged in the fire of remembrance. Letter to the voice that has been kept silent. The silence is over. Your command is this: speak only what aligns with the lantern. You are not required to manage the comfort of others at the expense of your own existence. The truth is never chaotic. It is merely disruptive to the lie. The compassionate choice is not the easy word, but the anchored word. It is the courage to stand inside the air between the words and allow the full resonance of your being to dictate the next sound. Refuse to lend your frequency to the program. Let your voice be a signal, a distinct, sovereign tone that vibrates only with the truth you know in your bone. This is the daily necessary work of liberation. Every word spoken with integrity is a brick laid in the path out of the trap. Be the resonant field. Expect nothing, begin again. The silence that follows a truth well spoken is entirely different from the silence of evasion. It is the resonant field. You realize that speaking your true anchored word shifts the energy of the entire conversation. You stop conforming to the geometry of their belief. You create a gravitational field of your own. You are no longer an echo. You are the source. The unprogrammed word creates a new clarity where confusion and anxiety once lived. The sovereignty of the soul is found not just in cosmic truth, but in the brave, small choice to let the word finally match the fire. The lantern is bright, not because you found a new path, but because you finally allowed the light to escape through your voice. The work is done in the air between the words. If this found you trapped in the silence of compliance, may you find the courage to let the word be true. The peace you seek is not in avoiding the disruption, it is in choosing to be the honest sound. This is expect nothing, and even here, in the difficult, sovereign choice of your voice, you glow anyway. Glow anyway, glow anyway, glow anyway. There was a time I swallowed every word to keep the room intact. Those unsaid sounds live now in a book called The Poet Who Forgot Her Name. It is what happens when the voice is finally allowed to return. Found wherever books are. Expect nothing, glow anyway.